Hey everyone, Mac is back with another video. Today we're going to talk about wall formations and troop formations. So first thing you want to click on is your wall defenses down here, and then your city defense, and then come over here to your wall and click on that. And as you can see, the commanders that I have on my wall right now, and you can see the dragons that you have to select and put in there as well. So make sure you get both dragons in there defending. You can hover over here and it says defending dragons that are not on expeditions will participate in the city defense. So if you get attacked and your dragons are out helping you gather or helping or attacking, then you won't get their bonuses and their attack in here. Make sure this is checked so you can set the dragons in your city that are not defending dragons as substitutes in the city. So you'll have to, so say for instance this is your main dragon and he's out doing something, this one will be in there to help you as well. So you want to look at the wall defense is a big one as what you want to do. So click on one of these commanders and you can see, and I'll explain why I have this, but you can I'll explain that to you as well. So for instance, first thing you need to know is your lord will always be in there. Right now Jean is my lord. I typically don't have her as my lord, especially when I'm fighting. I'll put Julian in there, and the reason you put Julian there is because he buffs all 3 troop types. So that's what you want. As you can see here, he gets 30% attack for infantry, cav, and spear. So he's definitely a good, if you have him gold, to put him as your lord commander. As for the other commanders that buff, what you want to do, what you want to notice is what is your front line. So your front line of defense is the biggest key, in my opinion, in this, because you're going to want to buff all your troops as much as possible, but you need that front line to be able to absorb enough damage so that the rest of your army can be able to attack and kill them. So in that regard, in that instance, you need whatever you want to do, however you want to do that. So having a high health for that. So for instance, if I have Chris up here, and right now Chris is buffed to giving the infantry attack 50% and the infantry health 50%, which is a pretty good boost, because no other commander right now that I have has that. So that would be a good front line, a good person to have in here for that. And it might also behoove me to put in another infantry commander if that is my front line. Now, if that is not my front line, if I have a spear or a cav, then you want to switch that out. I would recommend two commanders on your wall that have that type of either health or defense. The attack is always good. You always want that. Attack is always good. If you're defending though from your castle, the best is to have health, attack, defense in that order. That's the priority. Is the health first, then attack, and then defense. So I would try to find some high health to be able to absorb the damage as much as you possibly can, and then buff the rest of your other troops as well, except for the bows. So you don't want to have, I don't want to have Soren up there. He's not going to really do much for me. He's going to give me a fortification construction increase, which I don't care about, and then he does other passive skills that you don't need. So I wouldn't worry about him. Like same thing as a Kreveros here. Same thing. He's doing bow 50%, which okay, it doesn't, fortification defense increased. Yeah, your defenses die very quickly once they're gone, and his buff is only getting me that bow attack, which is not that great, because you'd rather buff 1 or 2 other ones. So like for instance, something that you might want to consider is if you have Seg at gold, if you hover over him, you can see he has the total attack of 15 and total defense of 15, and that goes to every single troop. So you have 4 troop types, so now you're looking at a 60% buff for the defense and attack total. So basically 60-60, which is really, really good. And you're probably asking, like, why don't I have him up here right now? Well, the way my army works, like I said, I like to buff that front line, and right now that total defense is actually only being applied to that front line. So when I said that everyone gets the 15%, they do in theory, but if you think about that front line, if it's like the example I used was infantry, he's only getting 15% of that buff, and the attack will go to every single one because they're every single troop type because they are attacking. So it really just depends on how you want to manage that front line. Now you ask me, how do I change that front line? So if you click confirm, once you've figured out which commanders you want, you can click over here for defense. Click on defense, and then boom, there come all your formations. So each formation has its each formation is different. So you start with this one here, which is the infantry cav, and the infantry cav is the standard. It's automatically unlocked for you at the beginning. So if you're going, one of the things you got to consider is if you're going out to attack for solo attacks, that if it's a smaller castle, usually under under 75,000, or I'm sorry, 75 million, or 100 million, maybe something like that. I would suspect that they probably only have this formation unlocked, and if they have that unlocked, then you're going to want to attack them with cavalry, because you attack them with cavalry, you'll annihilate their infantry up front. You'll be even with their cav in the middle, and then it'll take a while for that spear to get up there to actually do some damage to your cavalry. So that is just a little tip for if you're attacking the smaller castles, go with the cavalry, because they probably don't have these other ones unlocked here. And there are so you start with the first one, and it's the infantry cav. The second one is the spear infantry, and then you have the cav spear. These are all very basic. These are all ones that you can unlock them. Once you do, you can switch it up if you want to. You can see here is your front wall here. So this is your wall, your castle. Basically, this is the enemy once they break through. So this is going to be the front line, however you do it. But once you get to these last three, these are the ones I recommend highly changing it to and mixing it up as well. So right now I have it as a cav infantry. So the reason I say you want these three is very, very simple. If you're going to be attacked and you're going to be they know what your formation is because they attacked you previously, then if they're going to attack you with this one, if you have this formation, they are going to attack you with a spear front line. So that spear front line is going to annihilate these cavalry in front. However, if you have infantry behind them to go out to counter those spears, then you can reduce that damage because you can take out a lot of their front line as well. Now, if you went to the other one up here, this other cavalry front line, you have spear as a second in line in the formation. So if they're attacking you with spear, your spear are only neutral to them, and it's going to take a lot longer. And I say a lot longer, it's only a few seconds, but it's still a few seconds for those infantry, which are slower to progress, to walk up to that front line to attack those the spear that are going to be up there, so to counter them. And by that time, they're probably already through this, working on your spear, and then it's going to be a bad day for you. So I highly recommend these. As you can see, that if I went this infantry spear, if they attack me with cavalry at this point, they're going to annihilate this front line here, but my spear are going to be up there very quickly to annihilate their cav. So you're going to be able to hold them off a lot easier if you do something like this with these last three. So pick one of these, whichever one you like, and based on what your troops are. So if your troops are, if you like to tank spear, then put your spear up front, and this is the formation you want to use. Now, something also to note is that if you are attacked by someone, they're going to get your formation. So then they're going to come back with a counter to that. So if they attack you, say you have this one up and they attack you with spear first, and then you annihilate them, they're going to see that and be like, all right, now I'm going to bring cav at you. So you might want to go back in at that point and say, all right, we're going to bring cav. Well, I'm going to change that formation to spear, and then boom, they hit you again. And you have to be quick about it, of course. You have to check the report to see what they're doing, but then change that formation and go from there. So now you're going to ask me, how do you unlock these? Well, let's go to the Maester's Tower, and I will show you. So you click on your Maester's Tower, go into Formations, and then if you scroll just a little bit over here, you can see here is the Spearman Infantry and the Cavalry Spear. Those are the two that I told you that are not as effective. So you want to go a little bit further, and you keep going, and it's down a little bit further right here. It's about midway, a little past midway, I guess, through. But these are the three that you want to unlock. So if you're going to fight and you want to fight, these three are I should say defend, and fighting as well, because if you're using a two-troop formation, or even three-troop formation, these are the ones that you're going to want to use. I would completely forget about the other ones. They're just basic for that early game. And then that's it. So get these unlocked. Go to the formations, come in here, just upgrade as minimal as you possibly can before you can get these on. And they only take one. There's only one research. You don't have to research, like a wagon upgrade. If you click on that, you can see there's 10 of them. There is no There's nothing like that. It's just one time, there you go, ready to change your formation. That's all you need, and get that unlocked. So if you have any questions or you about maybe specifically, your formations or how you want to do things, based on your buffs, just give me a shout and we'll go from there. All right, Mac out.